Good afternoon, everyone. Jason here for TheChartGuys, filling in for Lori, who was filling in for Dan, who is filling his day with some well-earned time off. Today, we're going to be taking a look at what's happened in the market. We're going to do the regular stuff. We're going to check out some of the futures. We're going to check out some of our major indice ETFs. We'll also take a look at gold, nat gas, oil, Bitcoin, SPY, and a couple of the big names. So let's get started with the SPX 500 and its corollary SPY. We had a pretty good high volume day following CPI. The numbers came out exactly as expected, and some of the traders I saw out on the old Twitter sphere were a little upset that the trade was ruined by yesterday's run-up. But I think yesterday was the run-up, and today we saw that culminate in the opening 15 minutes of equilibrium. And that was really right here. Absolutely gorgeous equilibrium. And then we saw a bull break, and we had some internal support. If you use the market internals, as I do, we could see that there was a little bit of a bull bias on those internals, supporting more upside than downside. And we saw a pretty modest break of our EQ. And we can see that we hit the high of our EQ right there, pulled back a little bit, and we sort of settled into another bit of balance on the day. So all in all, we had a pretty good response to our CPI numbers. Going sideways through time is a good thing for the bulls. It allows them time to rest and consider their next move, and we can see that that EQ played out pretty nicely. So what does that do for us moving forward? Well, on the daily time frame, we're going to look and watch each of these higher lows, and we're going to be looking for signs of further consolidation. On the hourly time frame, we don't have much in the way of that yet. We got our low down here, we got our higher low. There's a possibility for hourly equilibrium, but with the ever so slight bull bias that we see on the market today, I think we're going to be a little bit excited, and hopefully we'll be able to carry that excitement through a break of this $4,001.08 level on the SPX 500 USD. So all in all, bulls in great shape, looking for hourly higher lows. If we break out of this range, we will be looking at 4-hour consolidation with higher lows over 3869.8, which is very likely going to lead to lower highs on the 4-hour time frame and contribute to some daily consolidation. So bulls are in control until they are no longer in control, and I'll be watching these two levels respectively for some guidance on that. On the daily time frame, should the bulls continue to charge forward, we have pretty minimal overhead resistance, which is not a bad thing. We cleared out a lot in the last couple of weeks of volatility, and we have resistance at 4060.8 and 41.2 on the daily time frame. Support is going to be each of our daily higher lows, the most important of which we find bouncing right off of our EMA 26 down here. What day was that? On the 10th at 3869.8. Similar thing on our SPY. Our SPY levels are going to be today's high tomorrow as our major resistance point. 398.49, with our daily resistances coming in at 405.50 and 410.49, looking for daily higher lows over 386.27. All right, NASDAQ. NASDAQ was actually a little bit more clear, and this is where I spent my time today watching that equilibrium, as you can see it charted out here overall. Daily time frame, following yesterday's pretty significant run up, and then CPI numbers, and then we got exactly, again, what we expected to see, which gave us this whipsaw balance. Knee-jerk reaction is countered. Bulls set new highs, giving room for higher lows into equilibrium. Slight bull bias on our internals, and then we say a move up to resistance. 15-minute higher lows remain in place, so bulls are in control with a nice double top on the 15-minute time frame on the futures chart, or the CFD here, NAS 100 USD. Bulls doing pretty well overall. Daily time frame, should they continue to push higher, we have minimal overhead resistance to 11,948 and then 12,229.2, with a lot more room for daily higher lows. So this is pretty good for the bulls, actually. Should we break out of this range, this overall EQ, which does still have potential to set up for an hourly EQ, we will be looking for 4-hour consolidation. And based on the distance of that, should we come down to that 11,222 level, we'll be looking for lower highs in the 4-hour, and then we'll be looking at daily consolidation. But again, until that happens, bulls are in control. 15-minute time frame, a lot of room for hourly higher lows, a lot of excitement, a lot of momentum. So let's see what they can do with it overnight. As far as the other major indices go, let's take a look at the Russell on the daily time frame. The Russell pushing even higher. Look at that. Beautiful. Big push. Nice counter, but look how weak that attempt was. There was a lot of momentum in that push, but it was countered really significantly. And you can see that momentum with its big upper wick. I love me some candlesticks. Pushing down, bulls answering back with an absolutely not. We're going higher, get out of my way. And they just push right up to 1889.46. So on the US 2000, we are pushing with a Marabuzzo close. Bulls in complete control, overbought, and nobody cares, just cruising higher. So we have an hourly bear break on our hourly, no, it wasn't even an hourly stair step, just beautiful 15-minute time frame, higher lows, gorgeous, pushing above our 1876.04. So of the NASDAQ and the SPY, or the NASDAQ and the SPX futures, the US 2000, IWM here is a little bit stronger. So bulls carrying forward pretty well. Daily resistance, 1889.46. Lots of room for daily higher lows. And I'd be looking for something over 1784.66. Let's go take a look at the Dow. Dow on the daily time frame. Let's get rid of some of these tools. There we go. Another big green candlestick. Again, same concept. Minimal resistance overhead until 34,397.6, 34,939.6. Looking for reasons for us to slow down. If we go to the hourly time frame, we can see that we have our hourly lows flushed out, hourly higher lows formed up here, 15-minute bulls in control. As long as they can stay over 34,084, they'll be in good shape. Another double top for us to be watching. If we lose our higher lows in the 15-minute time frame, we will be looking at hourly consolidation through time. If we see that drop significantly to our 4-hour level down here, we'll be looking for 4-hour consolidation and hourly lower highs to follow. What that would look like would be, let's say we get a drop down here. That's our 4-hour and hourly consolidation. If we get very close, we'll be looking for our hourly lower highs, and then we get ourselves our scary ghost pattern, which says no, and it chases away the bulls. There you go. Okay, scary ghosts aside, bulls are in control until they tell us they're not. And we use these levels to get an idea of what's what. Okay, let's go take a look at what's happening. Ooh, here's another, because there's so much fun out there today. Take a look at Bitcoin. So when I was reviewing work for this video, I loaded Bitcoin the last time I looked at it before one of my meetings, and I was, okay, what? And then I scrolled up, all the way up. So Bitcoin bulls having a lot of fun today. Nice to see some excitement coming back in. Big old short squeeze happening. And the best part of these short squeezes is when we have big drops down, we don't have a lot in the way right now. We don't have all of that work ahead of us to chew through. When we build long-term daily downtrends, each one of those daily levels becomes an obstacle in the sense that there's some order going to be placed there. When we have a big flush down and then we start moving back up into it over time, a lot of those orders don't exist in the same way. This big piece of action over, let's see, early November knocked out a lot of those orders. So they simply don't exist, which makes it easier for our bulls to move through these levels. Well, yeah, easier as opposed to when we chewed through, where are we right now? A lot easier than making movements through here, right? A lot of price action in this area, a lot of volume being exchanged in this area. Knock it out. We're able to move through like butter. And that's what the bulls are doing right now. Daily time frame, no resistance to 21,478. We are overbought everywhere except the weekly. What are we looking for on the weekly time frame? We are looking for weekly lower highs way up at that level at some point. Right now it's all about the momentum that the bulls can keep going. And can they keep going is the question. Daily time frame, daily stair step. Haven't seen that in a while on Bitcoin. 4-hour time frame, beautiful consolidation. So we have a big old 4-hour bull flag. One of the tricks that I like to do with these bull flags is look at the price range from my flag low to flag high, grab it, put it over here, and that is usually whereabouts I expect the flags to top out. And all in all, not so far off. All right, so we have a 4-hour bull flag. I like to look for hourly bull flags to follow. We can see that that is not the case here, but we are looking at 15-minute higher lows, bulls in control with these higher highs. Now, well, we can go down to like the 1-minute time frame if we want, but we're going to stop here. 15-minute bulls clearly in control, looking for hourly higher lows on Bitcoin and having a lot of fun doing it. All right, another sector that was a little bit crazy today. Do you watch the XPI? Because the XPI has, for me, has just been chopping around in this back and forth daily time frame. And today, both they told us no, we're done with that. We're on our way, breaking over 8650, knocking out a lot of these ranges and getting a little bit of a short squeeze going. And these short squeezes on high volume can really run away from the bulls, and that's why they're dangerous. So, dangerous for shorts. 88.83 is the daily resistance. Bulls having a blast. It's a fun day. Hourly time frame, hourly overbought, just cruising. So the only reason the bulls stopped is because they ran out of time, essentially. 15-minute higher lows, steamrolling it. This is what a short squeeze looks like. Absolutely beautiful. So what do we expect tomorrow? Well, if we are to wake up under 88.83 and see a rejection from that level, I would not be at all surprised. I would be very eager to take some profits at the daily resistance. That being said, I would be looking for quick 5-minute oversolds and the first sign of weakness to look at, engage the response of the bulls to see what sort of follow through we can have after that. Right now, bulls are in control, and there is nothing stopping them to 88.83. In slightly less exciting areas, we can look at gold. Daily time frame did see some, or the 50-minute time frame did see some volatility today. We continue to climb. We are overbought at 71.48 and moving higher. So far, no reason to doubt the bulls. They are telling us that they're here, they're in charge, and we're looking for daily higher lows over 1821.04. Hourly time frame, there is our opening whipsaw. So right in line with CPI numbers, big up, big down, 15-minute, not a 15-minute equilibrium, but the potential for an hourly equilibrium. If bulls fail to break 1901, are going to be looking for a hourly higher low. I'm going to say over 1879. And the reason for that is we had about, an hour of dawdling around here to set this level before we move back. We have 15-minute back burner activated, which just means as a fancy cheat. Is it a fancy indicator? I don't know. It's a TheChartGuys indicator that tells us when we have a very aggressive uptrend and we have the first significant 5-minute oversold level. So if we flush down to this level with our red line activated, our back burner activated, it's just telling us that, hey, we got ourselves an opportunity here. So if we do see that, I will be looking for oversold conditions. We've got a back burner active. I'll be looking for hourly higher lows over 1879.86, and we will expect this line to creep up with our price consolidating sideways until such a time that we are no longer looking for those overbought conditions. But gold looking really nice so far. Nat gas. Okay, nat gas on the daily time frame does not look particularly good, but it does have some potential for some longer term opportunity. And the reason for that is we have something, well, I don't recall what the term is, but when our RSI is oversold on a longer term time frame, oversold conditions can often indicate trend lows. We see that here, well, potentially building that here on nat gas on the daily time frame, just grinding the 30 oversold condition, 31.94.70 oversold condition. If we go back here to $4.97 in October, we see that oversold bounce moving up to $7. Go back over here a little ways, 532, bounce back up to highs, and go back over here. You get these periods where your oversold conditions just can signify trend lows. So with that in mind, and given the fact that we just have broken below our $3.59 level from way back here as support, we're looking for a little bit of short-term exhaustion and for price to move back up a little bit. Do we see any signs of that yet? No, we're still in a daily downtrend with daily lower highs and lower lows. Bulls really not showing up anywhere here. And until we get a 4-hour higher low over $3.43, it's bear control all the way down. And that's all I got to say about nat gas. Oil's a little bit more choppy. We had a daily uptrend here. We lost that. Where do we fit in the grand picture of things? Oh, weekly downtrend. We are looking for weekly lower highs. EMA 12 is this little squiggly red line right above our daily chart. Let's zoomify that a little bit. So we have some potential here for daily lows, lower lows, higher lows. That's kind of a janky pattern here, isn't it? In some ways, I'm looking for equilibrium. In other ways, it's just sort of treating itself as a different type of pattern. Perhaps, if we look at the 2-day time frame, we can see ourselves a bit of an equilibrium. All right. So I'm going to be watching 81.44 and 72.50 as the key levels for us. Right now on the hourly 4-hour time frame, bulls do have control, but I would be expecting a lower high under 81.44, and then eventually, if we are going to continue that EQ, a higher low over 72.50. We already did Bitcoin, we already did SPY. Let's take a look at MSOS. How are we doing for time? Oh, not bad. Okay, MSOS. I remember why I picked this chart. Daily time frame looks great. Does it? I don't know. We can see a range, and if we pull the chart up, we can see that we have some highs and some lows, and we are collectively moving toward a higher high. But what I'm going to be cautioning you about is these higher highs with no follow through. Now, when we zoom out and we look at the weekly time frame, it looks a lot more like a big bear flag. And that's what I'm cautious about here on MSOS, big weekly bear flag. So I'm going to be watching the weekly inside bar. We have one more day of trading. And given the fact that we just had a green day and have been relatively indecisive this whole week, it's unlikely we're going to break that range. So a high likelihood of a weekly inside bar. And that will be more useful for us going into next week. So for MSOS, keep an eye on that 721 resistance, and then right over top we have ourselves 71.36. Should we see a sympathetic move on MSOS, I will trade it with a sympathetic bull bias if the market is continuing its strength, and if that shows up in MSOS. But I'm going to be very cautious about holding anything longer term, and I'd be very cautious about entering long positions near $7.36 because of that potential for that weekly flag. And again, one day left. Not so sure it's going to happen. Okay, let's go take a quick look at a couple stocks here. Apple on the daily time frame. We've got 3 daily higher lows, EMA 26 right above us. Looking at some hourly consolidation and hourly equilibrium very likely. So we'll be looking at this range. Bulls want to break 134.66 tomorrow and really move away and try to build this out a little bit more effectively through time to protect that 131.44 level. What I'd like to see would be a bull break and another hourly higher low to build more confidence and continue this hourly trend up. Overall, not a ton of confidence established today, but not a lot of red flags either. Amazon, again, nice strong day. 2 strong days, consolidation. Is it healthy consolidation? Whipsaw action on the 4-hour time frame, and again, another hourly equilibrium. So overall, we're seeing a lot of balance today. We saw that in SPY QQQ. We see it on our futures. We'll see how it plays out over the next several hours as we head into the evening and overnight. Amazon needs to break 97.19. We'll be looking for hourly higher lows to follow. Let's see how well these equilibriums shape up, and I'm going to be keeping a particular eye on Bitcoin for those hourly higher lows and how much momentum it can continue to carry into tomorrow's action. Anyway, that's it for me. Have a wonderful day, and we will talk to you very soon.